This is communication. As is this. It's the information age. Internet and social media allow for information about one's mood, location, likes and dislikes to be shared at any time. But this virtual communication also affects the real one. How? That explains brain researcher Susan Greenfield at comm 13.
We know that when you have face-to-face conversations, you look someone in the eye, you listen to their voice, you interpret body language, you might even touch them, even in a professional capacity. These things are very important for establishing empathy, for understanding how someone else is thinking, what they might be feeling. And yet they are not available on Facebook. So on Facebook, all you have to go on are words or static pictures. So you're not interacting with the person. And if you're not therefore rehearsing that skill, then you're not going to be any good at it, like most things in life.
Such a lack of practice and the resulting lack of empathy is also typical for an entirely different phenomenon.
There is a link, it seems, between autistic spectrum disorders, that's a condition where people have problems with picking up and empathizing on others, and screen activities. For example, it's been shown that you can record abnormal brainwaves in an autistic person where they don't recognize faces as anything special or different from objects. So a table and a face will get the same response, whereas in ordinary people, the face will get a much bigger response. It's now been shown that people with heavy internet use have brain patterns, responses similar to those people with autistic spectrum disorders. That's not to say it causes it, but there does seem to be a relationship that needs to be explored further. For example, autistic people are most comfortable in the cyber world, and that, I would suggest, is because the playing field is now level. No one is using all those things that they find so hard.
Not only communication itself is changing.
The perception of the self is changing. The fact that you are using as a reference point what you're doing all the time, what you think and what you feel, and you no longer have friends, instead you have an audience, because this audience must be entertained and amused. You're telling the audience everything all the time. The problem is the audience might not like what they're seeing. They might have their thumbs up or their thumbs down, and that will lower your self-esteem because you're not so confident anymore. So what we're seeing now, and there's science papers on this, is an increase in narcissism and an increase in low self-esteem, which is a rather sad combination to have. It seems that the crucial issue is if you have friends in the real world, then Facebook and so on is just fine. It's when the friends that you have are people you've never really met before.